Good morning. It's time to wake up. It's Sunday, June 18th. It's Father's Day, and we've got Major League Pickleball on today. What could be better? I'm your host, Downtown Logan Brown, and this is the Sunday Dinking Club. Let's get started, folks. All right, so a heads up, I spent most of my week in Austin, Texas for my main job, the normal one, not hosting this podcast. But I got some pickleball in. I got to get out there early on a 7 a.m. on Thursday morning. And pretty wild, Austin does not have as many public courts as I would have imagined. I'll throw up the picture of where I played. Really cool spot, Pan America Park in East Austin, which is right by the hotel I was staying in, so it worked out perfectly. The folks were great. There was some amazing players out. So, clearly Austin's got amazing players. I know Ben Johns lives there. Jack Monroe I've had lives there. They must all be playing on the private courts, but next time, guys. Although I had a great time, I kept thinking about my hometown of Greenville, South Carolina, where we have, 20 plus, 30 plus dedicated courts with 10 more on the way. And although I loved the vibe Austin had, and that park was great, at the same time, they weren't technically pickleball courts. Yes, they were lined for it, but it was kind of like going to a skate park or some sort of concrete pad. And everything was very scrappy. It felt very raw. It was very fun. But if you live in a community where you have dedicated courts all around, be super grateful for what you have. I think Austin is lacking that a bit and needs more of that. So Steve Kuhn, if you're listening, I think you need to get... I know you've got Dreamland. That's great, but that's out in Dripping Springs. I think you need to bring more pickleball to Austin. So that's my little PSA there. Let's get into some of the top news of the week. Is the PPA finally embracing our call to make pickleball a rowdy fan sport? Well, earlier this week they polled fans on Twitter, and 86.9% of fans were in favor of pumping up the volume. Bring us more hype, guys, please. Last week, Elon Musk took to Twitter to make his thoughts on pickleball heard. But former tennis pro Andy Roddick says, not so fast. Roddick compared pickleball to ping pong, stating that it's fun to play, but it's not even comparable to a sport like tennis to watch. What do you guys think? I don't know. Boo. Want to know where you can get free meals, free room and board, and get to play pickleball? You guessed it. Prison. All right, all jokes aside, these California prisons have embraced pickleball as a new activity to keep prisoners active. I'll throw the link down in the description, but please check out the newsletter for more information on this. It's pretty wild, pretty fun, and I'm glad that these folks are able to play our favorite sport, even when they're incarcerated. Everyone knows Diadem Warrior, right? Well, Diadem is opening a pickleball complex in Florida this weekend, and it looks pretty dope. The complex was brought to life in partnership with Broward College. Never heard of it, but hey. And it was built on their North Campus. This place looks amazing. You got to check out the website. Got to check out Instagram. You won't regret it. Speaking of awesome facilities, I can't seem to get this song out of my head. The Welcome to My House. All right, well, Pickleball House, that is. Haus. Opening up in a former furniture store, this Illinois pickleball joint is going to be a destination for fans. I'm really hoping somebody can put a bed in there for me. I'd love to move in. Murmurs of a pickleball video game are going around, and some recent videos of pros playing in tracking technology make me think it's on the horizon, maybe sooner than later. EA Sports, it's in the kitchen. Have you ever wondered how tournament seedings work? And how often the pros are over or underseeded based on their performance? Turns out the road to big money on the tour is harder than it may appear. Well, a recent article by The Kitchen, in partnership with Real Clear Stats, goes in depth here. It turns out that making money on tour isn't as easy as you may think. And it turns out that a lot of pros are way overseeded. And getting a higher seed is actually really hard for the folks who are on the come up. But anyway, for all you pickleball nerds out there, I'm going to have this in the newsletter and in the description. Make sure to read that. It's really lengthy, but super cool to learn how these numbers work out and how hard it is for the folks in the middle to make themselves top players. All right, I told you I was going to make it short and sweet. Tell me what you think about this format. Maybe under 5 minutes is the way to go. But anyway, check out the newsletter. I'll have a link in the description. I popped in some paddle tech there. I'm thinking about throwing in more reviews for you folks. So I'm watching YouTube all the time. I've got the Dink podcast in there. I've got a $120 thermoform paddle that just hit the market. I've also got 2 reviews for the Roddick Prism Flash, a $99 edge foam injected paddle. Definitely check that out. And then the Pickleball Studio, one of all of our favorite YouTube channels, just threw out a review of the Bread and Butter Filth Paddle. And according to Chris, this is a Carbon 1X competitor for almost $60 less. And hey, the Kitchen also just threw out a review of the brand new Ace Diamond paddle. So check it all out. It's in the newsletter. Thanks so much for watching. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. And I'll catch you on the courts. Happy dinking and happy MLP Sunday. Later.